Estamos pendientes, como siempre, de traer a los mejores invitados, las mejores entrevistas, y hoy tenemos el placer de contar con Joana Cotar, diputada del Bundestag, que ya está aquí con nosotros en Negocios Televisión. Hi, Joana, thanks for coming for Negocios TV.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Hi, Joana, it's a pleasure. I want to talk with you about Bitcoin, about the CBDCs. We can start talking about these CBDCs, this digital euro. What do you think about the CBDCs, and how do you think that it can affect to our privacy? Why are the CBDCs so bad for us?
Yeah, I'm a staunch opponent against the digital euro because it's pretty dangerous. Just imagine the central banks could have, with one click, can decide what you have on your account and what you don't have. They can set an upper limit for payments. If they say, okay, you're only allowed to have 100 euros a day, which you can pay, they can do that with a click of a button. They can switch to negative interest rates again, and you can't escape them. If they get rid of the cash and they only have the digital euro, they can make the negative interest rates so high, and you have no chance to escape that. And the most important thing is it's so dangerous because it would mean that everybody of us could be monitored. For what are you spending your money? Where is it going to? And they can decide for what you are allowed to spend your money. For example, if you say you want to give some money to a political party, and the government doesn't like that, and the central bank doesn't like that, it's a push of a button, so you're not able to donate the money. We've seen that with the trucker demonstrations in Canada. People started to fund the truckers because they were against the vaccinations, and the people who sent the money were debanked. The Visa cards, the MasterCards, they were cut off. PayPal was cancelled for them. So they returned to Bitcoin. They sent Bitcoin to the truckers. That helps. So it's so dangerous if this architecture is built up for everybody of us. Just look into China. What's possible with the social scoring system? That will be possible in the European Union if we have the digital euro.
Joana, there is a lot of people talking about these CBDCs, this digital euro, and a lot of people is saying that it's a kind of big brother. What do you think about this? How can it reach? How can affect our privacy?
Absolutely. You don't have any privacy if we have the digital euros. They promise you that they won't control you, that they won't monitor what you're spending the money on. But be honest, all the promises we've heard from politicians in the European Union, they broke them. So if they say we won't monitor that, don't believe them. They will monitor you if they have the chance to. So that they know what you're going to spend your money on. They know how much money you have, you know what you're buying, you know what political parties you support. They will know everything, and they will use it against you. We see it in China. They're already doing that. For example, if you don't behave the way in China the government wants you to behave, you're not allowed to book trips anymore, or you're not allowed to go to banks and get credits anymore. That's how the state makes sure that people behave in the right way, and they can't do that because you're dependent on the digital currency. If we have the digital euro here in Europe, it's the same in Europe. They can decide for what you can spend your money on. They will know what we're doing. So you're totally transparent, and that's what we have to fight against.
And what do you think about this digital euro? Do you think that it can be approved here in Europe? For example, Christine Lagarde is talking about it. Fabio Panetta is talking about the digital euro. They say more or less for 2025. What do you think? Could it be approved here in the European Union?
I'm afraid that it will be approved in the European Union because the ECB, the central bank in Europe, wants to have that. The Lagarde wants to have this weapon of control of all the people. So they're pushing for it. Even the banks in Germany say we don't need the digital euro. If you want to pay in cash, you can do that. If you want to pay digital, you can do that. You can use PayPal, you can use your credit cards, you don't have to use cash. And if you look to sound money, you have Bitcoin. So you have all the possibilities you need already. You don't need the digital euro, you don't need CBDCs. But I'm sure the central bank and the European Union will push for it because they want this kind of control. They want this kind of surveillance above their people. That's what they're pushing for.
Joana, talking about Bitcoin, why do you think that Bitcoin should be a legal tender in Germany? Why do you think that Germany needs Bitcoin? Germany or the European Union, it could be.
Not only the Germany or the European Union, in fact, the whole world needs Bitcoin. It's just because it's not centralized and you can't censor Bitcoin. It's not possible for the government or the central bank. We don't need the central banks anymore if we have Bitcoin to go there and tell you you're not allowed to spend your money on certain things. They can't debank you. It's your money. Yet they can't change Bitcoin. And they can't print more Bitcoins than 21 million Bitcoins. There will be only 21 million Bitcoins. And if we see, look at the governments all over the world, if they go into problems, the only solution they have, let's print more money. And that's one of the important problems we have in the world is we just print more money. And that leads into economic disasters. And we see that in Germany now, we're missing 60 billion euros now because of our court decision we had here in Germany. And the only solution the government comes up with, well, let's print 60 billion more euros. That's totally crazy. This has to stop. And the only way to stop this is using Bitcoin.
Joana, do you think that it could happen? Do you think that it's feasible that Bitcoin was a legal tender, for example, I don't know, in Germany or in the European Union? Are there no any legal impediments to this?
It will be very hard in the European Union because my colleagues, the politicians, they either have no idea what Bitcoin is, and that's what I want to change in Germany, to educate my colleagues what Bitcoin is and what good things can come out of Bitcoin, or the politicians who know what Bitcoin is, and especially the central bankers, they are afraid of Bitcoin because it's absolutely clear that using Bitcoin, the people can strip politicians and the central bank of their power, and that's what they're afraid of. So we need enough people to push for Bitcoin, to contact their governments, to contact their politicians and tell them that's an important topic for us. Just please look into this. Please look into Bitcoin. Please make your politics regarding making Bitcoin a legal tender, or even small steps, having the possibility to pay taxes and fees in Bitcoin. That would be a first step, or using Bitcoin mining to stabilize the power grid. We all have energy problems, especially in Germany. You can use Bitcoin for that, Bitcoin mining to stabilize the system. There are so many positive aspects regarding Bitcoin. That's what my colleagues have to learn, and that's why we need the Bitcoin community and all the people who look into Bitcoin, are interested in Bitcoin, to contact their politicians and tell them, hey, that's a topic, and if you want my vote, you have to be pro-Bitcoin.
What are you doing in Germany to teach or for the politicians, for that they could learn about Bitcoin? What are you training, or what are the programs you are running in the Bundestag?
Yeah, we started an initiative that's called Bitcoin in Bundestag. We have created a website where the people can get all the information they need, especially my colleagues, my fellow MPs here in the parliament. And we're going to start events in the Bundestag next year. We will invite Bitcoiners to the Bundestag to educate my people, my colleagues here in the Bundestag about Bitcoin. On different topics: Bitcoin and democracy and freedom, Bitcoin on and energy, Bitcoin human rights. All the human rights foundations use Bitcoin nowadays because it's the safe thing to do. So that's what we're planning to do next year, just to make, educate my colleagues. And then we want to have a formal Bundestag committee, which meets on a regular basis to stay on top of all the information regarding Bitcoin and help my colleagues to make informed decisions regarding Bitcoin and regarding the dangers of CBDCs.
About Germany, Joana, we want to talk with you about the German economy. What do you think about the situation of the German economy, and what do you think about the possible recession in Germany? Do you see it possible?
Yeah, I see it possible. We have we have a government who has absolutely no idea what they are doing at the moment. The economy goes downhill so fast in Germany that you can really watch it. we had a time where made in Germany was a known thing, and now we don't. We have all the companies leaving Germany because we have so high energy prices here. We have a bureaucracy in Germany which is totally crazy, totally out of hand. We have high energy prices, as I said. We have high taxes. The companies are leaving. They say we cannot afford to produce in Germany anymore, and it's pretty scary to have a government now who just has no idea how to find a solution for all these problems. And now we have 60 billion euros missing, where the government doesn't know where can we get it from, and the only thing they say, okay, let's raise taxes again, let's make the people pay for it. And not only the companies are leaving Germany, also the well-educated people are leaving Germany, because they said we're not going to do this anymore. We are leaving. We can earn a lot of more money in other countries. We just go. We go to Switzerland. We go to the United States. We don't stay here anymore, and it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty scary to see what happens to Germany at the moment.
Talking about Germany, Joana, what do you think about the budget problems in your government? You were talking about 6 billion that
60 billions missing in our budget now because of the high scores we have here, because the government tried some tricks and they were against the constitution, and the court says you can't do that anymore, and so they have a 60 billion lack now of money, and they don't have any solutions. They don't want to. They won't going to continue spending the money. They don't want to see where can we cut the budget. Where don't we have to spend so much money on the European Union, for example? We're giving over 20 million euros a year to the European Union. France, the second most, only gives 10 billion euros to the European Union. There are so many topics where we can save money, and they don't want to do it, like the migration crisis. We have 50 billion a year. Germany is paying for the migration crisis we have in our country now, and we just don't stop the illegal migration. It just goes on and on and on, and that's also a fact which costs a lot of money, and the energy problems we have, so that people can't afford to heat their flats at the moment, their houses at the moment. That's also pretty scary. More than double as much Germans like last year can't heat their flats anymore because they don't have the money to afford the energy prices.
Talking about the Germany spending, Joana, I want to ask you about the defense spending. Germany is the second country that most invests, that most spends in the Ukraine war. What do you think about this? Because as I was telling, only United States is spending more money in this war than Germany. What do you think about it?
Yeah, that's not an easy topic. I totally understand that we need to help the Ukraine against Russia. What Russia did was inexcusable, but it has to be in a certain relation. If we see it's only Germany giving money and all the other European countries don't do it, that's not okay. We have to unite, and we have to distribute this help on more shoulders than just Germany. And looking at our economy at the moment, and looking at how many poor people we have in Germany and how many problems we have in our own country now, seeing that billions are going to the Ukraine, although I totally understand why it doesn't, but Germany can't afford it anymore. We can't go on like this for the upcoming years because we just don't have the money, and printing money is the worst thing we can do. That's a really huge problem, and our government doesn't want to face it.
And talking about this, Joana, talking about this Ukraine war, what do you think that happened with the Nord Stream? Because it's a little way, no, a little topic, so complicated.
Yeah, well, I don't think we will ever get to know who destroyed Nord Stream. There is still one pipeline working. The Russians are offering to give us gas through this pipeline. Seeing at the government at the moment, or all the political parties we have in Germany right now, it doesn't seem like there will be any gas coming through this pipeline soon. So I guess we can't count on that. And I don't know if Russia will be willing to give us the gas regarding all the political crisis we have with that country. But I don't think in the near future we can count on that.
Question, Joana. Talking about the war, the German defense minister, Boris Pistorius, more or less 1 month ago talked about Europe being prepared for war. What do you think about these statements and the movements in Germany, not only in this war, in the Ukraine war, also in the Israel and Hamas war?
I think it's the wrong wording. I think we shouldn't prepare for war. We should be prepared to defend ourselves. If there is a threat, Germany should be able to defend itself. And that's something that Germany can't do. I don't know if you know how our military looks at the moment, but nearly nothing or anything works at the military now. And that's also a problem. If we give a lot of military weapons to other countries, we don't have that for ourselves anymore. And now the government has decided to spend 100 billion euros on our military to make us able to defend ourselves. But that's in the future. And I don't even know if we still have the money regarding the lack of budget we have at the moment. So no, we shouldn't prepare for war, but we should prepare to defend ourselves. If it will be necessary.
Of course, Joana, it will be necessary also in Spain, but we are even worse, so we can talk so much. Thanks, Joana, for coming here for Negocios TV. It's a pleasure, and thanks for talking about Bitcoin and also teaching in the Bundestag. It's so important, and I wish we could do this in Spain. So thanks for coming here for Negocios TV. It's a pleasure, Joana.
Thank you very much for the invitation. Thank you.